Good morning, first period and third period, advanced math. Hey, sub day, sorry, but we're going to do some easy notes and follow up on all those sum and difference formulas that are up in the front that you guys had last time. If you guys can turn, hopefully you picked up a worksheet 4.2. Just to show you before I start the notes, here's worksheet 4.2. We're only doing the front today. Tomorrow we will do the back and maybe start something after that, but we are only doing the front, which really is just recognizing what equations are which. So pretty easy. Some more sum and difference formulas. So turn to your notes and get out 4.2. You'll see more sums and difference formulas on the top, and you will see these formulas. So again, let's just talk about these a little bit. So sine A plus B, you notice the sine and cosine, cosine and sine, same sign here as there. A minus B, same thing, but we just switched that to a minus. Where cosine goes cosine, cosine, sine, sine, that's how it works. Opposite sign in between. And the same thing with A and B. Okay? Your favorites, tangent. Just to kind of go through that real quick so you can recognize these. If we have tangent A plus B, the A and B on the top, and on the bottom it's 1 minus, so opposite sign right here. A times B, tangent A times tangent B. Same thing here. If it's a minus, that's a minus, but then this is the opposite. We don't use cotangent very much, so I'm not even going to talk about cotangent right now. I'll talk about it when we use it. But basically, you are recognizing what equation or what sum and difference formula they set up. You're going to identify A and B and write the equation. So first of all, if we're looking at this first one, it's number 5, so I have no idea why. So this is number 5, so we're just going to go from there. If you look at it, cosine, sine, cosine, cosine, sine, so we should recognize, going back, that if there's sine and cosine, cosine and sine, that must be a sine formula. Remember, these are the same. So on this one, this is a minus. So we should recognize this is a sine A minus B formula. Okay, that's what they did. They did sine of A, cosine of B, minus cosine of A, sine of B. What is our A and B value? So this is A. Okay, make sure these are the same. So my A is 20. My B is 15. So they were trying to figure out what the sine of 5 degrees is. So you're kind of, instead of using the formula to figure out an angle that you don't know, you're looking at what they set up and figuring out what angle they were trying to solve for. Super easy, easier. Okay, don't get caught up in this. The radians aren't going to matter, other than we're going to have to add the fractions together or subtract the fractions. Okay. Again, first identify, is it a cosine formula or sine, and is it a plus or minus? So again, just looking at this right here. Pause for the bell. If you're looking at this formula right here, if you go up to here, make sure you guys can see it. Cosine A plus B is cosine cosine minus sine sine. Cosine cosine minus sine sine. So this must be a cosine A plus B. Again, opposite sign with cosine. And we just needed to identify where A and B is. You should, again, going back to here, be able to identify that that looks like that. Okay, so my A must be pi over 9. My B must be pi over 10. And I want to simplify it. Just like I simplified 20 minus 15 to be 5 degrees, I want to simplify this. To simplify this, I'm going to have to get a common denominator. So we're used to doing common denominators now. So the common denominator would be 90. We would multiply this fraction by that denominator, this fraction by this numerator. Add across, and we get, they must have been figuring out the cosine of 19 pi over 90. Okay, easier than actually having to do it, we're just looking at it. Okay, so let's do a couple more. Now the next ones are actually going to be values you can find on your unit circle. On the homework, it'll say, I'll just show you guys really quick, find the exact value of the expression. That means after you do simplify and figure out what they're figuring out, you can actually figure out the exact value. So you'll look at your unit circle, so you'll need it. Okay, so if we look over here, I listed these by you. This is a plus, and this is a minus, so we must be looking at this one. This is my A, and that's my B. So we are going to write this as tangent A plus B. Well, that is tangent of 45, and like I said, that's actually on a unit circle, and we could simplify it, that's 1. So we're kind of, before we were using the formulas to expand out, to figure out stuff, now we're doing the formulas to condense down to figure out something. Easy. Okay. Number 8. This is a minus. That's a minus, that's a minus, this is a plus, that's a plus. We must be looking at an A minus B formula this time. This is my A, that's my B. Make sure they line up where A and B are the same with each one. So we're doing the tangent of, again, this is a minus, 17 pi over 36 minus 5 pi over 36. Nice, I don't have to get a common denominator, it's already there for me. So that's tangent of 12 pi over 36. We want to reduce that. So 12 goes into 36 3 times, so we can do the tangent of pi over 3, and we should know on my unit circle that's the same as the tangent of 60, which is radical 3. So again, it will say on your homework, it'll say find the exact value. Okay, so one more time, going back before I go to the next part. Homework. Look at this, you're just figuring out is it sine or cosine and writing it as a sine A plus B, but actually adding A and B or cosine A plus B or A minus B and subtracting. Same thing here, but these you'll be able to look on your unit circle. No tricks. Later on we'll have a little tricks to them, but right now it's pretty straightforward. When you're done with this, we're going to do one more thing really quick. I'm going to have one more example on yours, but when you're done with this, you can work also on 4.1. I'll go over both of them tomorrow, Tuesday. Okay, so let's look at the last example. Last example is review what we did. But instead of like your homework had to do sine, cosine, and tangent, we're just doing sine. We're dealing with a negative angle. So you have a couple choices here. First of all, if we're thinking about negative 195, that means I'd go backwards, that's 180, I'd be right here. Again, that is in quadrant 2. I should get a positive answer. Okay, so I need to make sure the numerator, because the denominator, hopefully you guys know, is 4. The numerator is going to be something that's a positive answer. Okay, now, up to you. I don't like to deal with the negative, so I'm going to find a coterminal angle to negative 195 first, and I'm going to do it that way. You can do negative 195 and somehow get it to add or subtract would be negative 195. I'm not. And remember, find coterminal, you're just adding 360 to that negative. And I would get a positive 165. So this angle this way would be positive 165. And this angle here would be negative 195. Together they make 360. I would rather just deal with that. Same quadrant, it really doesn't matter. It may be easier for me to figure out A and B if I'm looking at a positive. Okay, so we have lots of choices. You could do 135 plus 30. You could do 125 plus 45. So these are probably the most common choices. It's not that one. That people would pick is 135 plus 30. Or maybe 120 plus 45. Those are probably common. I don't usually do subtraction. It's just easier for me to think of addition ones. I'm going to do that. So I'm going to do sine of 120 plus 45. If you do 135 plus 30, you should get the exact same answer. Shouldn't matter. And again, if you want to make a negative 195 and make these both negative or somehow subtract something, give you negative, you can. I just think this would be a lot easier. This is sine formula, so it's sine A, cosine B, same operation in the middle, cosine A, sine B. So this is just a review question. Okay, when it says find the exact value, that means you should actually get the answer in square roots, not a decimal on a calculator or anything. Sine of 120. Okay, that's radical 3 over 2. Cosine of 45, radical 2 over 2. Cosine of 120, be careful, that's a negative, negative 1/2. And radical 2 over 2. So if we multiply straight across, we get radical 6 over 4 minus or plus a negative, whatever you want to put, radical 2 over 4. So our answer is radical 6 minus radical 2 over 4. Again, signs in quadrant 2. Should get a positive answer. Radical 6 minus radical 2 is a positive number over 4, so we do get a positive. Okay, we're going to stop here. We're not going to turn over the notes and do the next part. We're going to stop, and again, you are going to work on this worksheet, find the exact value in here on these three. Okay. These you can just stop once you find it. It won't be, they'll be like 70 or 50 or something like that. You can't find the exact value. These, once you actually simplify it and condense it down, find the exact value on your unit circle. And we're saving this till tomorrow. Also, you can work on 4-1 when you're done. Okay, have a great day. I'll see you guys tomorrow.